Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to Bucco Brew, powered by DeFair Coffee and Tea. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, we have Jim Rosati. It is Monday. Jim, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Good morning.
Just okay?
Yeah, I'd say I'm just okay.
All right. That's fair. I'm doing okay as well. I'm a little sad. It's that time of the year where I look and I'm like, it is already mid-August. Don't know where the time went. We already had the first Steelers preseason game. Maybe that's what it is. Like the football starting, and you're realizing, like, geez, that means fall's coming. That means like the end of the year's coming. That means the cold's coming. Summer's over. It's done. We're done. This sucks. I'm starting to get in the feels.
I'm not quite there yet.
I'm sad.
I'm not there. I don't it doesn't turn fall for me until like real football games start.
Well, yeah, like it's still gonna be 90-some degrees for like 3 more months at least for me.
Yeah,
but
like it's still
the idea and thought that that's around the corner. It always makes me sad.
I look forward to football though. But and also this year I'm looking forward to the baseball season being over. So I've got 2 things looking forward to.
Oh,
I need this season to be
this
over,
year.
And I'm looking forward to football.
Yeah, I hear that. But either way, yeah. So that is what it is. But the Pirates, they take 2 out of 4 from the Cincinnati Reds. So I guess you could say things are okay. They're not bad. They're not terrible. They're okay.
Yeah, I mean, current playoff odds are 0.0%, so they were 0.0% before the series. So I guess they didn't get worse.
There you go.
They're just coasting right now. They're treading water at that 0% playoff chance.
Donnie ball, baby.
Donnie ball.
There it is. Yeah, so we have a pretty good show today. It's okay as well. But we'll have Anthony Murphy on for quite a bit. So, I mean, honestly, I feel like there's a lot going on, but not in the major league world. It's more like in the minor leagues. That's where the interest is. And, of course, one could be a major league story. I mean, Connor Griffin's just tearing up at Greensboro still. So the question is, when's Altoona? You have also Greensboro just like obliterating their offense. It's crazy. Their offense is crazy good right now. It's kind of fun. But then, of course, Bubba Chandler. Like, there's a talk about Bubba Chandler. There was a quote that came out. There's an article Noah put out there with, Ben and Bubba talking about being in AAA, not in the majors and such. You could definitely argue, like, should he be there? Should he be in AAA? Is he ready? I don't know. But, like, let's bring on Anthony Murphy and maybe talk a little more involved with that today's show.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the show. I feel like we always spend every other Monday. We spend about 15 minutes talking about prospects. We're going to spend a little bit more time than that today because there's a lot to talk about. You had a bunch of the new draft picks make their debuts this past week.
Yeah,
you've got some guys just launching baseballs all over the place, left and right, in both Bradenton and Greensboro. Like you mentioned, Bubba Chandler kind of knocking on the door. Ready, not ready. August 15th is kind of that day where if you call him up, then you can keep his rookie eligibility for next season. But is he ready? Is he ready to get called up? Because, you see all the highlight videos, you see the strikeouts. I think he leads the International League in strikeouts, if I'm correct on that. But his outings aren't very long. He's getting pulled pretty early. He's giving up a lot of base runners. So yeah, we're gonna dive deep into Bubba Chandler a little bit and kind of talk about, hey, like, is it time to call him up? Is he getting bored down there? Is it just a matter of getting bored? Does he need challenged, or are there things that he needs to continue to work on? So looking forward to that conversation.
Yeah. Absolutely. And before we do, just let you know about the sponsor of the show. DeFair Coffee and Tea is a family and employee-owned and operated business. They believe that coffee and tea are one of life's simplest and most accessible pleasures, and when enjoyed thoughtfully, can open your eyes to the here and now. They have 5 locations across the city of Pittsburgh, including their flagship in the heart of Pittsburgh Historic Strip District. Don't forget to stop by the fair's new location downtown on Penn Avenue, right across from the Benham. Grab a cup and fuel up on your walk to PNC Park. Mobile ordering available. Check out their Instagram as well for more details. That is the Fair Coffee and Tea. And you go to the fair .coffee, right? Go to the website because Jim, tell everyone who doesn't know by now what they can do when they go on the fair.coffee for the first time.
Yeah, if you use code NS930, you get 30% off your first online order. So go over there, stock up on everything that you need, get it shipped right to your house, 30% off. Can't beat it.
You can't. You cannot beat it. Very good stuff. So let's go ahead and talk about this Cincinnati's Reds series. Let's kind of wrap this one up. As mentioned, they do split it. Cincinnati was, in a way, of course, fighting for a playoff spot still, and they still are. But the Pirates had the opportunity to play spoiler. And again, as Pirates fans around mid-August when the Steelers are playing football, that's kind of what you start looking towards. Hey, who can we knock out of the playoffs? And like Doug said on Friday night show, I think it was Fridays, nothing better than on a Friday night watching Pirates baseball, watching a victory, and potentially knocking the Cincinnati Reds out of the playoffs. I don't know if they fully accomplished that. I don't know if they made that big of a dent. If they swept them, there's certainly that real possibility. But either way, it's a team fighting for the playoffs. They matched up well. They go 2 for 2. Most games are kind of entertaining to some level. But yeah, so I don't know. Any big takeaway from the Reds series?
I think the biggest takeaway is like the bullpen. The bullpen's not very deep. I think we found that out yesterday after the trade deadline. You trade Bednar and you trade Ferguson, where those were 2/3 of your best guys, right? Like if you're looking into a 7th, 8th, 9th inning, you've got a 1-run lead. You're typically going Ferguson, Santana, Bednar, and now you lost 2 of those guys, so they need replaced. Santana gets bumped back to the 9th inning role, the closer role, and so you're trying to find ways to bridge the gap. How do you bridge the gap from the starting pitcher to Santana? And, especially with Ashcraft getting the start on Saturday and Majinski sort of piggybacking behind him, they were just short some arms this weekend. And you saw that come into play yesterday with some guys pitching who haven't been with the major league team all season long. And, we saw the bullpen give up 10 runs yesterday, and ultimately they lose 14-8. If the bullpen gives up less than 4 runs, the Pirates come out winners in that game. And so that shouldn't be that difficult to do. That was a winnable game yesterday. They had the chance to win that one. And the bullpen just had other plans. So that'll be the big thing to watch. I think the rest of the season is like, can some of these guys like really carve out a role? Because your bullpen is kind of shaky going into next season now. You've got to figure out how you're going to piece together a bullpen. And, that you can fill that with free agency and things like that. But, yeah, the bullpen's going to be a piece that the bullpen's definitely now a thing that needs work going into the off season.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. We debated and argued. It could make sense to trade a reliever, but you have to hang on to one. Is it going to be Bednar and holding on to Santana? Is it going to be Santana holding on to Bednar? The trade didn't really go the way we wanted to, but it's, again, like what you're seeing right now is exactly why, if you are going to entertain trading pieces at their peak value, right? Trade relievers at the peak value. Again, right now you're showing the reason why you probably want to hang on to one. Because going into next year to try and replace 3 of these guys could be pretty rough, looking especially at the internal pieces. Like Matson's kind of intriguing. We've been talking about him, but is he really a guy that you certainly count on next year? I want to talk about like Cam Sanders comes up. He's had a great season this year, in the minor leagues. And when he comes up, the first outing, the first appearance he had looked kind of intriguing. He's held his own. He's done that. Last night it just kind of unraveled and fell apart. Now he's not the only one, right? Darren Red has looked really, really good as well. Last night he finally gives up an earned run. There's definitely some shakiness there. Now, again, I'm not saying you can't build a bullpen, in an offseason. That's certainly some things that teams can do. But you see how like this has to be done. Like we are focusing so much on the offense. The offense needs to build up. The offense needs to build up. You need to work and figure out the offense. But I think you also need to entertain the bullpen next year, certainly as well.
Yeah, I mean, going into yesterday's game, the bullpen had a 5.53 ERA post-trade deadline.
There you go. Now, that game against Colorado really.
Yeah, I mean, but that's all part of it. I mean,
sure.
They didn't look good in Colorado. They looked even worse yesterday. So that bullpen ERA after yesterday is probably going to be hovering in the sevens, which is not where you want to be. And it's still a small sample size. We're talking about 10 days here, but yeah, it's a piece of the puzzle that hasn't looked great. So
yeah,
I think, like I said, that's my main takeaway. It's nice to see Spencer Horwitz continuing to hit pretty well. Nick Gonzalez seems to be doing his thing as well. So it's nice to see those two guys. ONeal Cruz is just someone who he needs to start. He needs to have a good last 2 months here because he's completely fallen off a cliff. We talked about that on the post-game show yesterday. So yeah, there are some people who have some stuff to play for these last 2 months. Like I said, and I think Tyler and you talked about it last week as well, where like you want to feel good about certain players going into next year.
Yeah.
And right now, like who do you feel good about?
Mm-hmm.
Like really good about?
Literally nobody. Literally, like there's not one person I feel good about.
That's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem that like we feel good about nobody. Nick Gonzalez is probably the guy I feel the most good about.
But also, like, what's the level of that good? Just hey, he's a consistent second baseman. He's
like,
fine.
I feel pretty good that Nick Gonzalez can be
fine.
Can be our starting second baseman next year. Like,
right?
You can put Nick Gonzalez's name in ink next to the second base spot. But like outside that, I don't feel good about anybody. Like I want to feel good about ONeal Cruz, but he's been awful these last couple of months. You want to feel good about Brian Reynolds, but he's been awful all year.
Mm-hmm.
I want to feel good about Spencer Horwitz, but I need to see a little bit more. But like everybody else, don't feel good about Henry Davis. Definitely don't feel good about Jared Triolo. The rest of the guys playing are rentals. I mean,
right.
You don't feel good about Liover Peguero. You like what you've seen out of him so far, but that's a lightning in a bottle. I
like what you see out of him so far in a sense of let's continue playing him.
Yeah,
like that's it.
I don't feel good about him.
No,
don't feel good about Canario, Sawinski. Like none of these guys I feel good about.
Right,
Nick Gonzalez. That's it.
Yeah.
Write his name in ink next to the second base spot, and I mean Cruz's name is in ink too, because who else are you going to play there? But yeah, like you just don't feel good about any of these guys, right? So you've got 2 months. You got 2 months to start feeling good about some players.
Now, I mean, the caveat here is right now, Brian Reynolds has looked pretty good for a few weeks now. Like he's turned it back up a bit. Now, is that going to stay? I mean, that's been his problem. He shows you a weak spurt and you say, okay, he's coming back, and then he falls off this cliff. Seeing him continue this and finish out the season would help me feel better, but I still don't feel good because he still had 4 months where he was just bad, right? But it helped me at least feel better that maybe we talk about expected numbers and actual numbers, I should say, and his expected are much higher. He's been a bit unlucky. However, he's also just been very bad, right? He's been bad. So, like, if he can finish out the next 2 months, it makes me feel better to say that, like, hey, Brian Reynolds, like, that person still exists, right? The Brian Reynolds we know is still inside this package here, maybe it will carry over to 2026 now, and he'll just be back. He'll be fine. He'll be the guy that you can just pencil in and don't have to worry about. That's what we've liked about Brian Reynolds. He's not great. It's not like he's this star out there, but you pencil him in. He's going to hit 280, have 29 home runs, just like be that guy. If he can be that guy again, that would be great. But yes, like Spencer Horwitz also, he started off really slow. He had that like 2 to 3 weeks spurt where like it was starting to come around. It's like, all right, maybe this is Spencer Horwitz. And he fell off a cliff once it turned July and looked terrible. Well, now he's starting to look good again. Last 20 games, he's been really performing well. So if he can continue that for the rest of the year and make you feel like, okay, it was a slow start and he had a stretch where, right, he went and looked poor. That's baseball. But if he can finish the year looking like this, that will make you feel better. But again, like at this point in time, there's not one person that I feel good about. And yeah, especially goes to ONeal Cruz. He started out fantastic. He had like the first through May, he had like a 127 weighted runs created plus, 12 home runs, 18 stolen bases. Looked like the dude. Looked like that guy. And you put out the numbers yesterday for the last 2 months. It's been brutal. It's been brutal. Yep. It's the inverse of Brian Reynolds right now, right? Brett Reynolds is starting to take off a little bit. ONeal Cruz starts looking like what Brian Reynolds was, even worse.
Yeah.
So yeah. There's that. His OPS under a 700 now. That's just wow.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like yesterday it was like 840.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago. It was in the 800s.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, and now it's in the 600s. That means he's been playing pretty poorly.
Yeah. Now, some positive there. The outfield's looking better. I trust, you talk about penciling in, I trust that he can play center field to a level next year that we are very comfortable with. But that's also not his calling card. His calling card isn't his defense. His calling card is his offense. That needs to come out. And the fact that he's still on a base in how long now, too. Just everything. Like everything's just not working well for him. But yeah, so that was the Red Series. They split it. Anything else you want to touch on before we bring on the Murph dog?
I don't think so. Let's go ahead and let's bring Murphy on.
Let's do it then.
Let's shift gears here.
There he is. Good
guys?
morning.
What's going on?
Not a lot.
Yeah.
Good morning, Murphy. Good morning, Murphy. Anthony Murphy from Bucs On Deck also writes for DK Pittsburgh Sports and Bucs and Baseball America. So yeah, thanks for hopping on this morning. We got an extended Anthony Murphy segment this morning. Title of the show: Bubba Chandler's ready.
Yeah.
Or is he? Like, let's kind of just jump right into it. Made 2 starts last week. First start was, okay, but like nothing to write home about. Lots of base runners. Made a start yesterday. Pulled after 4 innings. Again, lots of base runners in both starts. Season ERA 3.82. He's pitched now. Let me get the season stats up. He's pitched now 96 2/3 innings. He's 5-5 in 23 starts, 116 strikeouts, 1.42 WHIP currently. Depending on what prospect list you're looking at, he's a top 10 prospect though. Leads the International League in multiple categories, but that's also because he's been there all year and he's got a lot of innings kind of racked up there. But Murphy, we saw the quote come out yesterday where Bubba Chandler was talking about how he's frustrated. He's frustrated. He thinks he's ready for the major leagues. He's been in AAA all season long now. He also seems like he's on maybe some sort of an innings limit or pitch cap. Like he's not. I mean, he threw 70-some pitches yesterday. Is this a guy who's just? I don't know. You watch him way more than I do. I've seen Bubba Chandler pitch, I think, once this season. So is there anything wrong with him? Or like is he ready to be called up right now?
I mean, truth be told, I would have called him up months ago. like
Okay,
before all of
on
this
months
kind of
ago.
like, yeah, like before everything kind of seemed like it started like unraveling. Like I kind of like in my head like he's major league ready. Like after a month of watching him in the minors, obviously, like you could make a good case as to, there are other reasons why you keep him down. Try to buy time to this like Super 2 and then other stuff and then I think it's like late May, June-ish or whatever like that. The controls slowly started to kind of like unravel even more and to kind of get to the point now. It's always seemed like a case of just him like either overthrowing or just getting in his head maybe too much and trying to force things and just not letting like the natural skill like play in the zone. So I would still call him up. I like at this point now. I think you wait till after the whatever like the next deadline is
August 15th.
To keep PPI eligibility, rookie eligibility, and whatnot. But I'm maybe not like the biggest fan of usually because I think we talked about this with like Ashcraft last year too. I'm not the biggest fan of like in this case like throwing him in the bullpen, but I think maybe like this is the situation that kind of warrants it. Maybe throw him in the bullpen, let him work shorter outings, 2-3 innings a piece, and kind of let him get a feel for it because like he is going to be like you guys talk about like competing in 2026 more, and he's probably going to be a pretty big piece in that. So you want him at least comfortable and ready and familiar with major league hitting at that point.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's where I'm at too. It's like, I mean, the way this kid started the season, he's dominating. This guy is ready for the major leagues. Like, get him up here. The season went a whole different direction. You anticipate they're going to be good this year, so maybe they're going to have him like in a Paul Skeens track, right? They don't really care about Super 2. Let's get him up here early so that way we can try to win some games. They were terrible. They were bad. So you can understand the reason of, well, maybe let's just kind of keep him down here for Super 2, right? And again, like, I'm not for that, but I understand that as from the business side, the way this is going this year. And you already lost years of control with Jared Jones because they started from day one. Of course, Paul Skeens, because of him being so good, right? He gets a full year of control for taken away. So, like, okay, maybe we'll ride out with Bubba. But then, like, right, he goes and he's just not performing. He's like, he turns to a whole different player. The player that you thought like you might have seen, because again, he was labeled as going to be a project, but he just turned out to be so good so quickly. But yeah, like loses the control, whatever. And now it's just like, do you win? So like, I'll say is like, there's certainly an argument on both sides. I'm the one that says like, I'm certainly on the side of pushing him up here. I want to see him get major league outs, right? And I guess my question to you also is for those who say like he needs to stay down because he's not ready. There's a lot he needs to work on. Do you think those are also things that you can work on at the major league level? That's fine and okay, or is this really a case where like that would need to be worked out in the minors before you come up to the majors?
I think that's definitely something they could probably just work on in the majors. And you think about like I'm sure like the coaching staff probably like they've passed along. I'm sure they passed along some sort of notes or something like that. And it's not like they're completely ignoring him in AAA. But also too, you get up here and you get Oscar Marine and Brent Strong like hands-on, day-to-day, that kind of stuff. And I don't know, maybe that helps them even more. Maybe like the added push or the challenge. He's a very, very noted competitive person, and so like maybe getting up there and getting that kind of challenge stuff like that maybe kind of lights a little spark for him to where like, okay, well, now here's my shot. Obviously like you guys mentioned the article and like now I got to kind of back up what I said there, that I kind of felt like I was ready. So maybe that maybe he just kind of arises to the challenge and stuff like that. But I just think that regardless of what the numbers say, and like I'm not. I think sometimes we get caught up into like oh well, he has to be posting so and so numbers, and he has to get his ERA to this, and like I don't think that that's ever like a final matter into or the final decision of someone getting promoted. I think I could watch maybe like a hitter, and like if he goes 0 for 4, but like he's making solid contact the entire time, then like okay, I'm still good with like moving him forward, that kind of thing. I think the same thing with Bubba. He's kind of shown that because like early in the season he was like really overthrowing, and like I think it looked fun like on the highlight reels because he was hitting like 101, 102, 103, but realistically, like he was still getting just as many swings and misses at 98, 99. And once he kind of shows that he's just kind of pitching again, then I think like just send it.
Yeah. I remember, I mean, the game that I saw him in person, I was right behind home plate, and he went 4 innings, gave up 1 hit, struck out 8 batters, and it was just, this dude is incredible. Comparing him to, and this is just going to happen, even though it shouldn't, because it's not fair to Bubba Chandler. But comparing him to Paul Skeens, like when I saw Paul Skeens make his first AAA start, and when I saw Bubba Chandler make his second AAA start, there wasn't all that much of a difference. Like they both just completely dominated the batters that they were facing. So I think where I'm at with this is, let's wait until August 15th. Obviously, that's going to be, I think, the next time they need a starter anyways. So that day just sort of makes sense. But also, I'm more in the lines with kind of what you said there at the beginning, Murphy, where, like, if the Pirates are going to compete in 2026, Bubba Chandler is going to have to be a part of that. You don't want Bubba Chandler's first taste of the majors to be in April of 2026 or May of 2026, whenever that is. I want to see him get major league innings under his belt this season, so he knows, hey, what's it like to prepare for a major league start? What's it like to go every 5th day, traveling the way that they do in the majors? What's it like pitching with the crowd that's there? What's it like pitching with your defense behind you? What's it like pitching to these hitters who have access to all of the information right at their fingertips all the time, right? Like it's a different animal. Major League Baseball is a different animal than AAA. We see players come up all the time who dominate AAA, and they come up and they struggle. So if there are going to be struggles with Bubba Chandler, if there are going to be things that he needs to adjust and work out at the major league level, let's have him do it right now. Like the team's 20 games under 500. Let him kind of figure out the level and work out whatever kinks or adjustments he needs to make now, instead of waiting until next season when, like, you're going to need him to be successful. I think that's where I'm at right now, is like, it's not necessarily a matter of merit. I think he deserves to be up here. Like, he's clearly a good pitcher. And I think if you said, hey, who's one of the top 5 starting pitchers in this organization, he's one of them. Like, he deserves to be here right now. But I think more than anything, it's like, give him some experience at this level, just to kind of get a feel for what it's like, so that next year when you do really actually need him, he's just a little more comfortable, right? That's what I'm at right now. Listen, I don't love what I see the last few months. You mentioned how he's overthrowing, he's walking batters. I would prefer him to not be doing that. Like, at this point, I know you're frustrated, Bubba, but things are going to be a lot easier for you if you figure this out now, instead of waiting until the major league level. Like, we saw him make that spring training appearance against I think it was the Yankees. And it was a big stage for him. It was probably like one of his biggest stages. And he threw a ball to the backstop. Like, he was clearly just trying to do things that he shouldn't be doing. But again, work out the kinks, get the experience, figure out what the major league level is all about right now, as opposed to waiting until next year. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference too, or like as to like why it's probably good to get him up now too. I think in most cases you could probably make a case to just let him sit in the minors if he's struggling, because you can always use that. There's that roster flexibility to the offseason, but by not adding him. But he's eligible for the Rule 5 draft this offseason, so he's going to have to get added going into the offseason anyway. So he's going to take up a roster spot anyways.
Right.
So at that point, might as well, if there's a way that you can save like the rookie eligibility, PPI, and all that kind of stuff, save it and then just go ahead and add him anyways, because you're not going to have that 40-man spot that you can kind of keep free until like next year, whenever. You're going to have him there anyways. So
it's another good point. Yeah, there's no roster reason to keep him down.
Yeah.
And it's like another thing I have a question on, right? And kind of understand both sides of this, right? You've watched Bubba, in person on TV, obviously for his entire existence, right down there. I can understand too that like there's this whole sentiment of prospects. Like one thing I don't like about, I shouldn't say don't like about prospects. One thing I hate hearing about prospects is like I feel like we try to baby them so much. Oh, you got to hold them back. Oh, you got to hold them back. Make sure they're ready. And this might be where like I differ on people, and there's no right answer into bringing up Bubba Chandler again. Like I can totally understand both sides. Keep him down here, bring him up. I am of the type of I want to challenge people. I want to promote them. If I expect them to be a major leaguer, I want to challenge them with major leaguers. And if they fail or if they're struggling, you can always bring them back down, right? So I'm of the nature of I want to challenge, I want to push, right, in that sense. But I also, I think there's a lot of people like, well, he's not performing well. There's no reason to bring him up here. You don't want to bring him up here because he's struggling down there against minor leaguers. And we understand the difference. There's a huge jump between AAA and major leagues. I think there's a lot of people that love to talk and say, well, you don't want to bring up prospects too soon where they're not, in their stride because you don't want to ruin their confidence. This is also my takeaway with Bubba Chandler. I want to hear your feedback on this. If there's one thing I'm most confident in Bubba Chandler in, it's not his talent, it's his confidence. Like the last thing I'm worried about with Bubba Chandler is him coming up here and still having the struggles in the major leagues. And then he goes into the offseason with his confidence just shot. What's your take on that? Are you in any way, shape, or form worried about Bubba's confidence when he comes up here? Because again, if he's struggling in AAA, like I imagine he could certainly still struggle in the major leagues. Is that a worry for you or for him?
No. With someone like Bubba, I mean, this is a guy who texted like Paul Skeens about like, Paul Skeens being the number 2 guy next year. Like I don't think confidence is ever going to be an issue with him. And baseball is hard, and I think they've realized that at this point. You have someone like Chase Burns who came up and like he's had his struggles and stuff like that. Obviously looked good over the weekend.
Obviously,
but yeah, yeah. So like I don't think you have to worry about like having to sit for a whole offseason after getting shelled in the majors. Like it's just going to ruin him as a pitcher thing. I think at this point he's a guy who maybe the numbers aren't there, but like he's proven it for over a year now that like he's a capable AAA arm, and like the next step is naturally just to challenge him with the next level. I mean, even if he doesn't get here right at August 15th, let's say he makes his next start in Indy, like at once August 15th hits, like at any point now you can say like, okay, he's coming. If he has like, all right, Bubba, this is what we want you to do. Just go out here and just throw more strikes, and that's it. And like, I don't think he needs like this long track record of starts in a row to kind of prove that like he's back or anything like that. I mean, you can make cases that like with it, like most of his starts recently, it's really been one really bad inning that's kind of like got out of hand. So like, just go out there and show that you can. I mean, yesterday, 2 of those runs came because like the outfielders lost track of the ball and it fell in between 2 of them, and that allowed both the runners to score. If they don't lose the ball and make the out, then that's 1 less hit and 2 less runs that he allows. So
thanks, Bay.
Yeah.
Now, one thing is he's probably not going to avoid the defensive lapses at the major league level either. Like it's not like
he's preparing him.
He has experience. Yeah, he has experience in that part.
Yeah, not like he's getting much better players when he moves up. Yeah, I think we're kind of all in agreement here. Like, I don't know if he's ready, but it's time to call him up, regardless. Like, it's time to
we've
push
seen.
him. Yeah.
How many of these top prospects over the last couple of years have just like completely struggled? Like Jackson Holliday was the number one prospect in all of baseball, and like he was really bad when he first came. Chase Burns, like he wasn't great too. Like he's striking a bunch of guys out, but like his ERA is up in the 5s right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So many prospects coming up, and like baseball's hard. The adjustment's hard. You have to put them on the 40-man roster anyways. Put them on it. Let him get a little bit of a taste, and that way next year he knows he's good to go.
The Chase Burns piece is, I guess, what's interesting to me because, yeah, like striking out a ton of batters, but he's walking a lot. He's giving up a bunch of hits, ERA in the 5s. He's 8 starts into his major league career, and similar caliber prospect to Bubba Chandler. I mean, they're basically 1-2 as far as right-handed pitching prospects go. So like I said, if you're the Pirates and you're like, okay, let's get these bumps. If there are going to be bumps, let's get them out of the way now. Like, let's get them out of the way now instead of waiting. So yeah, I'm with you. Like the time is now. They did that bullpen game on Saturday. I think the next start lines up. If you kind of just go through, it would be Thursday. So Thursday is the 15th.
He pitched
right?
on
11th, 12th, 13th. No, wait, Thursday's the 14th, right? But he has pitched Sunday, so he's not even going to be available there.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he would be in line. No, yeah, the 15th, Friday, is in Chicago. So that would be normal rest, right?
Friday would be 4 days.
Yep.
Tuesday.
You probably want to give him an extra day.
Rest. Yeah.
Just because.
So maybe you bump whoever's day that is, or maybe you go a bullpen game on the 15th or whatever, and you go Bubba on the 16th. Now, the one thing that we have seen is they do typically tend to have these high profile debuts at home just to sell a couple extra tickets. So if that's the thought process here, then you're waiting until next week against Toronto, probably. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, like, are they going to do it Friday in Chicago, or are they going to wait until they come home to debut him? So, but I'm with both of you. Like, it's time to call him up.
Yep.
And when I hear, like, prospects do struggle. Like, that's also, again, like, I'm tired. Like, they do struggle. That's the nature of the game. They will struggle. Bubba probably is going to struggle. And I'm not going to look at that and say, like, well, this is a failure. This is the reason why you should have kept him in AAA. Like, I anticipate when he does come up, he still will struggle. So I want to talk about the confidence thing as well, because it's going to happen. You need that. You can't really figure out what you need to change until you find out what you need to change and such. So, yeah, again, like, prospects just by nature, they come up here, they struggle, then they hit their stride and they figure it out. Not everyone's Paul Skeens. I don't know how that man exists, but he does. Even when we talk with him, like, oh, he's going to struggle. You can't expect him to be Jared Jones. And he does that, right? But, yeah, like, I fully anticipate he's going to struggle. I want him to. It's fine. Prospects need to. They need to face adversity. They need to find out how to overcome it.
Yep.
And if I'm having a pitcher that has a 5+ ERA, I'd rather it be like someone like Bubba Chandler in the rotation than someone like Andrew Haney.
That's fair. And again, I want it to be this year and not next year.
Yeah.
All good points.
What about Connor? He's going to Altoona, right? That's what he's on a bus now, going to Altoona. Is that what's happening?
Is he?
I'm asking you, right?
He's not.
You're here to bear us the good news.
I wish I had it. But also, selfishly, I'll be in Greensboro at the end of the month, and I would not mind getting another chance to see. So,
see, that's my thing too. Greensboro is coming to Bowling Green next week, so it would be nice to hold him down there a little bit longer.
And what is it? Nola, I know he likes to stir things. He made that comments saying
he stirred
about how they're not going to move him up because they want Greensboro to compete for the championship down there in the South Atlantic League. And the Pirates do really value that kind of experience. Like I've talked to multiple people and they really do value that kind of experience, and that kind of playing in that kind of atmosphere. So I wouldn't keep him there just for that. But also, like, I guess, like, even if he finishes the year, he's starting next year in Double-A, and he'll be a teenager when he does it. So,
yeah, he's as good as we thought he was at Bradenton. He's only gotten better. The contact rates are up, strikeout rates down, walk rates up. I guess the only thing you could, if you wanted to poo on one thing, his power really didn't go up, and you would have maybe expected some power numbers to go up going to Greensboro as opposed to Bradenton. But I mean, he's checking off every box there is. 157 weighted runs created plus in Bradenton, 173 weighted runs created plus in high A Greensboro. Like, he's just, I don't see a flaw in his game right now. Like, you look at prospects and there's always like something that jumps out at you. I feel like, and this is no matter what prospect you look at, there's always like something that jumps out at you where it's like, that's something he needs to work on. But it's like, you look at Connor Griffin, and it's like, if he just keeps doing what he's doing with no changes or improvements whatsoever, just keep kind of moving up the ladder, like you're talking about one of the best players in baseball. Like everything's where you want it to be with him. Like I have no complaints. And there's always, usually when I look at a prospect, I'm always like, I wish he could do this. I need to see this. But Connor, there's nothing that I need to see. Like, he's 16 homers. And he started the year at 18 years old. He's got 52 stolen bases. Walk rate's up. K rate's down. He's hitting in the 330s on the year. OBP's over 400. Slugging, like, it's just across the board. He's doing everything you want to see. Like, and there's a reason why he's the number one prospect in baseball.
Yeah. I guess, like you mentioned, like, you could nitpick it and be like, well, I want to see him elevate the ball a little bit more. And like, I guess not to be the guy that always brings up like negative stuff with it, but also like he hit those 3 home runs last week, and like we got to remember that Asheville's also like think like Greensboro on steroids. So, I mean, I guess like I looked it up, and like right field is under 300 feet. Like right center in Asheville is like 320.
Right,
like they have a really tall wall.
Yeah, the right center field power alley is 320, which is insane. Dead center's 373.
I mean, it's a really tall wall.
Yeah,
I think
it is a tall wall.
30, yeah.
It's
so
a tall wall,
keeps
guys.
that keeps like the super cheapies out, I guess.
Yeah.
But still, like if you get a hold of one, like it's probably at the very least a double off the wall. But
yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like
the amount of teenagers that I say they need to elevate the ball more is like generally like really high. So like if his one issue is that he's not elevating the ball right now, I mean that's just the one thing that proves he's still just a teenager. So I think that's the most common thing I say about kids that age watching.
I think what's jumped out to me though is like strikeouts went down, walks went up,
and
he maintained
like significantly
everything else. So it from where he was like that first week of the season to now, like he just continues to get better and better and better. So they got a good one. They got a good one in him. I would love to see him get some playing time in Double-A though before the end of the year.
I feel like that has to happen at some point, even if it's like a week or two. I think the Altoona season goes like a week longer than Greensboro. I don't know if they like make a deep run in the playoffs and that was their goal, he'll probably miss out on some time in Altoona. But like if you just ignore the whole playoff thing, naturally they'll probably be like a week extra to where you can send him up there and play.
Are you leaning towards that way? Are you leaning towards we're probably going to see like the token call up for him?
I like at this point, like I'm the one who try to like I feel like the way Twitter has gotten, anytime I've mentioned anything about Connor Griffin, like I get like 80 questions of why he isn't in Altoona or when's he going to get promoted, and like I feel like sometimes like if I try to respond to it, like it starts to make me sound like I'm negative on him or I'm not as high on him. So I try to avoid those things at all possible. But like if they were to call him up tomorrow. If they were to call him up today, if we were to find out that he's getting called up to Altoona today, I don't think I would be surprised at this point.
Yeah.
Like even like right now, this minute, like we were to find out like he's going up there. Like okay, yeah, I mean that makes sense at this point. You can probably always find little things to work on for him. Like, but at this point, sure, why not?
And again, I ask it for you in the sense of for the Pirates, not your personal opinion, if you would or not. Because like my personal one is, and you already heard, right? I like to push. To me, this kid is just like this isn't doing it for him. Like, sure, there's something, and like naturally, I'll be fine with him in like a normal year or whatever. I mean, he's a prospect. He's had 44 games, 45 games in Greensboro. Like, it's okay to keep him down there. Having two levels in 1 year as a 19-year-old, like that's perfectly fine. But I look at it as the kid is just obliterating it down there. There's a possibility he could be on this roster for next year. It's like the Bubba thing. It's the Bubba thing. I want to see a good sample size of AA to help me answer that. Because if he's in AA this year for, again, like a solid month, there's like, 30 games now in Altoona remaining. If he played 30 games in Altoona and was doing this there, to me, I'm going in the offseason saying there's a real possibility he's making opening day roster. Or at least AAA. You know what I mean? Like, but if it's just a week, I'm saying there's no question like he's in the minors next year. I kind of want to give him the chance and answer me, could you be major league ready next year? Or at least in the argument, right? Starting off, my thing is, are you starting off in AAA or AA next year?
I think he can go. So I had a scout tell me one time that at this point in the season, and let's say he comes up and gets about a month's worth. By that time, I had a scout tell me that he didn't put as much emphasis on performance at this point of the year, just because, like, let's say you move up in AA. By this time, most of the good players from AA, they're in AAA now. All the good players from High A are in AA now. So he's realistically, the majority of times, going to be facing a lot of the same guys he faced in High A, who are also learning to make that adjustment at the new level and everything like that. So he was less inclined to take like a month at the end of the, like both ways too. Like if he went up there and he did really good, like he'd be like pump the brakes a little bit. If he went up there and didn't do great, then it's kind of like, okay, well, new level, still kind of adjustment. So I think at this point, even if he came up and he had like a month and a half of really good AA play, I'm still probably inclined to think he's starting in AA again next year, and then probably finishing in AAA. I try my best for a kid that age, no matter how good he's been, and this has easily been the best player I've seen in person, like as a prospect. Like I didn't get to see Paul Skeens in person, but this is the best hitting prospect I've seen like since I've started doing this, and like I'm still trying to avoid any kind of timeline for him right now because he's still 19. He'll be 19 to start the year. I'm still at the stage to where like let the kid play. He'll get there, kind of like he'll dictate when he gets there, and if that happens to be like really really early, then like I guess it ends up being really early.
Let's talk about a couple other guys. I want to bring up Tony Blanco Jr. He seemed like he had a pretty good week. 20 years old. He does have some of the flaws that you see in a prospect, and one of those is his contact rate. He swings and misses a lot, but when he hits the ball, Murphy, it's violent. Like he he murders the baseball. He's basically out there doing damage to the baseballs. It's some of the most. Actually, I would go ahead and venture to say it's the most raw power I've seen out of anyone in the Pirates system ever. Like ever.
And that
that
also
includes,
means ONeal Cruz.
Yeah, I mean that includes ONeal Cruz. He's already hit some balls. He's already hit the ball 120 miles an hour at age 20. There are 5 people on this earth who are capable of doing that. There's 5. And it's Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Shohei Ohtani, Giancarlo Stanton, ONeal Cruz, and Tony Blanco Jr.
Nuts.
Like, I don't know. What should our thoughts be about this guy? Because clearly he's going to have to make more contact. But how much more really does he need to do if when he's hitting the ball, he's doing this kind of damage to it? I think there's levels to it where it's like, yeah, your strikeout rate's 30%. You want to see that go down, but I think you can live with the higher strikeout rates if he's doing this type of damage when he makes contact. So what are your early thoughts on Blanco? I mean, we haven't really seen a whole lot of him, but he's arrived in Bradenton for sure.
Well, I looking at the other day, his max exit velocity would be 3rd in baseball right now. Like only ONeal Cruz and Vlad Jr. have hit a ball harder than him this year. Like his 98th percentile would be the best in baseball. Like it's just insane when he gets a hold of the ball. And then what is it? Nola posted a picture of like his of his stat sheet in Bradenton. He has a 50% whiff rate on like fastball, like right at a 50% whiff rate on fastballs and breaking balls. So it's like 50-50 right now. He's either going to swing and miss at it or he's going to hit it 450 feet. And like
it's just funny hearing that, but yeah.
Yeah. So like right now, I'm not even sure if like I would consider him like an actual prospect right now. Just because like when you look at him as like like you would like any other prospect, it's what a 30 at best, like a 30 grade hit tool, like a 20 grade run. He doesn't feel. He's played DH all year, so like he doesn't even feel at all. But then like the power is an 80. The raw power is an 80. There might have to be like a new category for the raw power, just because like we don't even see major leaguers hitting the ball as hard as him. Like when it comes to 90th percentile exit velocity, he's already hitting the ball harder on him. And like 90th percentile is like good to like judge like how consistent the power is going to be future wise. And he's already the best in baseball at that. Like I'm not saying like at 6'6", 6'7", 280 pounds or whatever. Like I'm not going to say I don't think there's any more like filling out he's going to do. So like power is what the power is. So like, but even at that, like, I mean, look at that. That's like something we don't see at all. So
yeah, like, I mean, contact rate, if your whiff rate's 44.9%, that means you're making contact, 55% of the time. Mm-hmm. But like you mentioned, 90th percentile exit velocity, 115.4. That's stupid. Average exit velocity of 94.1. And when he hits the ball, like he's barreling it and he's pulling it in the air, like he's doing all the things you want a power hitter to do. Like you mentioned, from a prospect standpoint, it's tough to rate. I mean, he's a designated hitter. Like that's what he is. So it's like his value, in order to get value out of him, like he's going to have to hit. And yeah, the hit tool right now doesn't look great, but the power, yeah, it's an 80. Like there's no one in minor league baseball with this type of power.
I mean, what is it? Like this is literally this is Spencer Jones on steroids. Yeah.
It's a good way of putting
far
it.
less athletic Spencer Jones.
Yeah, Jones
like,
can run
in every way.
field, so like there's that.
But right.
To it.
But again, like as far as the hitting, yeah. Well, regardless. But yeah, like he does everything that Spencer Jones does to even more extremes, I just feel.
he had a game over the weekend where he had 3 hits with an exit velocity of 110 plus. Like every single one of his hits were 110 plus. And I will say he looked like it's still a very small sample size of him and Bradenton. The swing doesn't like you hear someone that's hitting these kind of exit velocities, and like we've seen it with like Cruz. Like the swing can get like super violent at times, and a lot of that plays into like the swing and miss. It's a very natural swing for him. Like it doesn't look like he's like swinging an axe up there and just praying that like some of the home runs that he's hit, it's been because they've naturally he gets a lot of sliders and stuff like that to try to get swing and miss, but like he times some of those up like very well, and it's a very natural looking swing. It's just with his size, there's like the obvious longer swing that comes with guys that kind of size. So that, and then, yeah. So like he hasn't looked, especially as the week kind of went on, it looked like there was progress being made. So I guess maybe it'll be kind of interesting to see if or how much progress he can make with those kind of adjustments and like the hit tool and whatnot.
Real quick before we let you go, new draftees made their debuts this past week. It sounds like they're being a little aggressive with some guys too. Got some college players moving to Greensboro, some other guys debuting in Bradenton. But give us kind of just a quick high level outline of how some of the new draftees performed this week.
Well, I think I forgot to check the Greensboro box score yesterday, but they all played, and then there's a couple guys that played in Bradenton. They played, it was like 3 or 4 games over the weekend because they had a doubleheader, and they all only played one of them. I don't think, or was it Josh Tate? I think he had like an RBI triple, and he was picked out of, I think like the 8th round pick out of Georgia Southern.
Yeah, it looks like yesterday Jones played, went 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts and a walk.
I think
Easton Carmichael played yesterday too.
Okay.
For Greensboro.
So the Greensboro guys got in more. They played at like 2 out of 3 games over the weekend, and obviously Jared Jones had the home run and double, but like he went 2 for 4, and then the other 2 at bats were strikeouts. So like that'll be a thing to kind of watch with him. You're gonna want that because like he's another first base only guy. So like a lot of pressure is gonna be, and he's a first base only right-handed guy too. So platoon wise, he's kind of on the short end of the stick kind of thing. So, but Carmichael was a guy that I was interested in. I'll be looking forward to getting a look at him too, because there's a little bit of questions about whether or not he can stick behind the plate. So it'll be kind of interesting to watch him there. And like I said, I'll be down in Greensboro in a couple of weeks to take a look. Yeah, but I think that's only like 5 draft picks total that's debuted, which isn't a bad amount, I guess. They have the Bridge League going on, so there's still a chance that I think a couple can still sneak in by the end of things.
So the Bridge League just started, right?
It started like early last week.
Yeah. So. And for those not familiar, the Bridge League is kind of like just like backyard baseball, where hey, let's get a bunch of guys, play them against each other. You may have 3 outs. You may have 2 outs. You may end innings in the middle of an inning and pull a pitcher and put him back in the next inning. It's kind of just like whatever those guys need to work on. But it is a good way to at least get some live at bats against competition that isn't your teammates.
I did. Speaking of draft picks, I was the Pirates have that YouTube stream of stuff down at the complex. It did look like I got it, that was it Gustavo Melendez, the kid they drafted out of Puerto Rico. He did play in a game, and I only they don't have a roster out with like the numbers and everything, but like the scouting report had him at 5'7", 5'8", and seeing him stand in the batter's box, like that's probably definitely Melendez there. Yeah. And what is he got? He really fast, stole a couple bases, was hit by a pitch, and then he had a base hit. So like pretty good game all around, as long as that was him, kind of thing.
Nice.
Cool. And then one final prospect thing. It looks like Baseball America did an update this morning because there were some graduations. debuting on the list at number 98, Edward Florentino.
Ooh.
So the Pirates have 4 top 100 prospects now, according to Baseball America. Florentino, Hernandez, Chandler, and Griffin.
Yep.
Nice.
So a really, really big time rise in prospect status for Edward Florentino this year.
I thought I knew like he was my choice for a breakout guy, but like
He was.
I'm not
you
sure.
were all over it.
I'm not sure I was like, oh well, this is a top 100 guy by the end of the year. Maybe close and all that, but yeah.
Here we are, multiple lists.
Yeah.
Hell of a year for Edward Florentino. So, all right, Murphy. Well, hey, we appreciate you hopping on here. We'll let you get on with your day. But where can everybody find your work?
As always, Bucs On Deck Substack, daily features. Got a couple things coming out on like Omar Alfonso and a couple more video breakdowns. Going to start focusing on that a little bit more as the season winds down. I do nightly recaps on DK Pittsburgh Sports and then Baseball America as well.
Sounds good.
Awesome
all right.
stuff.
Thank you, Murphy.
Yeah, no problem.
Love you, Murph dog.
All right, you guys have a good one.
You
All
too.
right, we'll see you. DiNardo, Fanduel needs to put up a line for when Bubba Chandler's going to debut, and they need to make it like August 15th and a half.
I'm with it.
So what are you thinking? August 15th?
They would have so many bets.
Are they?
I'm taking.
Are they going to do it on the road? I don't think they do it on the road. They don't do that. They always try to sell a couple extra tickets.
I know. And like this time of the year, the Steelers season now, they kind of need it. Yeah. I don't know, man.
If I'm looking at the schedule,
I like deep down in my heart, I want to say it's the 15th. But also, like, there's just so many out. Like, it could be any other day after that. I'm going to take the over. Yeah,
I think this is what's going to happen. I think he's going to make his final start in AAA this Saturday.
I agree.
The 16th. And then he's going to debut at home against the Rockies on Friday night. The Hall of Fame game, Zambelli fireworks, Bubba Chandler debut. That's the circle August 22nd. That's where I think that's going to be Bubba Chandler's debut.
There it is. Send all your questions to Noah. Noah is, I'm bringing my family of 8 to the Pirates game next Friday. Is Bubba starting? Send all those questions to Noah. Let him know. I feel like that's probably, again, like I want it to as soon as possible. And technically as soon as possible for the Pirates. That makes sense. It's going to be the 15th. That way he's PPI eligible. And again, at this point, that's also good for Bubba. Like, I want to highlight that. At this point, right, in June, not so much. But at this point, that's good for Bubba because it keeps him PPI eligible. It allows him to start opening day. If he goes out there and wins Rookie of the Year, right, plays top 2, like, he gets paid. It's a nice little chunk of change, nice little bonus. So he might sacrifice a week or 2 of Major League pay today. But if you're allowing me the opportunity to make $1 million tomorrow, I'm probably going to say okay. So again, at this point, this isn't me trying to say this is the right thing, but today at this point, that's the right thing for the Pirates to do for him, is to wait till the 15th.
Well, he can't be promoted earlier than that. I mean, he started on Sunday, so like he can't be promoted before.
Oh no, I know, but I'm saying like for him still being in the minor leagues today, like if they would have called him up and made his first start yesterday, like that would actually kind of doing him dirty. So it makes sense that it's going to be the 15th. Now I'm with you. It's probably going to be.
I'm going to say the 22nd. Yeah, 22nd against the Rockies, and honestly. Like Murphy put, like that's a pretty good transition. Major League debut at home against the Rockies. If you're used to facing AAA hitting, you're not going to notice much of a difference when you face Colorado away from Coors. So pretty good day to debut. Yep, that's I'm sticking my flag on August 22nd. That's the Bubba Chandler debut day.
I'm with it also.
All right. We want to talk about the Brewers real quick before we get out of here.
Yeah, Brewers are good.
Yeah, are
That
they
was
baseball's
quick.
best team?
Maybe right now.
Yeah, they are. They're the only team in baseball with over 70 wins. They're now 6 games ahead of the Cubs. It's just what's that meme where it's like, Lord, I see what you do to others. Why can't you do this to me?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Brewers are the others. Like, they're a small market team with no money, and it's just like every single move they make works. Like, you look at this lineup and it's like minor league rule 5 pick Isaac Collins, 2.8 WAR. And I feel like I talk about Isaac Collins every time I talk about the Brewers, but like, where did he come from?
There's a reason.
And
he's their best hitter.
This team's got, and then all of a sudden, the White Sox give up on Andrew Vaughn. He goes to Milwaukee, and then all of a sudden, through the power of friendship, he just becomes like the best hitter ever. He has a 1,065 OPS.
But like, also,
we're not talking about like it's a month of just being like the best hitter in the game, Andrew Vaughn. Like, this is just, it's the Brewers. It's the Cardinals used to have the devil magic, and I think what happened is when the Pirates didn't hire
Arnold,
the devil magic shifted to the Brewers just out of karma, and
check their passwords.
They can't do anything wrong. Like, it's every single move they make pays off. Like, Andrew Vaughn, are you kidding me? Andrew Vaughn?
Yeah.
The White Sox give up on
passwords. Someone in the Milwaukee Brewers organization has passwords from another team, just like the Cardinals did. They're stealing information. We just haven't found it yet.
Andrew Vaughn,
but you say
negative 1.9 WAR with the White Sox for his career, and he has 1.3 WAR in 24 games. He's instantly gone from like one of the worst players in the league to one of the best. Just like that.
And you talk about the power of friendship, right? Andrew Vaughn comes over. Now, Jim, how much time do you think you get to work with hitting coaches in a new regime to make an impact and change your, entire swing, everything about you? He comes over and instantly, like, his contact rate increases, and like he hits baseballs now, something he couldn't do for like his entire career, and he just, through the power of friendship, like you mentioned, the power of putting on the Brewers jersey, just instantly he's like, oh, this is how you do it.
It's like they told him one thing. Like, they were like, here, we got you. We want you to do this. We want you to do this one thing. He's like, okay, you got it. And all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah. Yeah. He's just instantly
sick of it. I'm sick of it, DiNardo.
Stops chasing baseballs.
Why can't this be us? Why can't this happen to us one time?
Let's have a discussion. Let's have a talk. I'll tell you why it can't be us. Let me get the notes. But absolutely. And it's funny too, is like Christian Yelich was like struggling to begin the year, and then just boom, takes off. Yeah, it's the Brewers. They have the second best ERA in baseball. They're 9th best as far as WRC plus goes. And like you mentioned, like Collins just comes up and just dominates. They get Andrew Vaughn, just dominate. Like,
they call up Jacob Mizorowski. He just dominates. Quinn Priester is the best pitcher in the National League.
Charizard. Like,
yeah. Jacob Mizorowski gets called up, makes the All-Star game, pulls a Charizard. Like, it's like,
it doesn't stop on the field.
Nothing bad happens to this team. It's only good stuff. Anyways, Jose Quintana, Freddie Peralta, Brandon Woodruff this series. Peralta Skeens should be fun on Tuesday. I thought Peralta was supposed to start tonight, but I guess Quintana will be. But
our old friend Jose Quintana.
Yeah. But you got Quintana, Heaney, so lefty-lefty matchup, Peralta Skeens, and then Woodruff, Keller. So I don't know. I think we take one. But this Brewers team is good.
At least we miss out on Quinn Priester.
Yeah, that's true. We get to miss Quinn Priester. Thank God. Instead, we get to face Brandon Woodruff.
But again, like I don't know if I'm ready to face Quinn Priester and have him do that against the Pirates at home
again, because he already did.
Yes. While Nick York is still in AAA.
Quinn Priester already had his 1-run game, 6 innings, 7 strikeouts against the Pirates. So
yeah. So he's 11-2, 114 innings, 3.15 ERA.
Like I said, it's just the Brew. Like nothing bad happens to them at all. They're a very well run organization, and like Bucco Mike says here, like winning organizations have these good stories, and it's just like everything the Brewers touch right now turns to gold.
You recall, not this offseason, but the offseason before, when they were trading Corbin Burns, that maybe this is their moment to retool. Maybe not rebuild. They're not going to rebuild, too much talent, but maybe they're going to entertain a rebuild or a retool. And that happened. And then this year, like their best hitter, their shortstop, hits free agency. There's Devin Williams 1 year. Like maybe this is the other retool. No, best team in baseball. Like it's just crazy too, because like you mentioned, like they have the same constraints, restrictions, issues that the Pirates have. You know, they can't keep their stars, and they're still good. They're kind of are the small markets have to work in windows, and they're kind of like the opposite of that. They're just good. They're proving like, hey, you can sustain success. Neil Huntington was onto something, just couldn't do it. But Milwaukee can.
It's sickening. They make me sick. They make me sick. They're so good. They're so good. 73-44. They are 29 games over 500. They're the best team in baseball, and it's not even close. Like it's
a shame. It's a shame those Yelich and Hoskins contracts are just hurting them so much.
Yeah.
Dear Lord.
Anyways, let's win one. How about that? Let's win one.
I'm good with that. I want to highlight one more thing. It's not as big as those guys you mentioned. It's very much more low key. However, also like, Nick Mears? They gave the trade deadline last year. Nick Mears is just a lights out reliever. Old Bucco friend. Yep. Like you said, everything they touch. Everything. We out of here?
Mike here says the Brewers are 48-16 in their last 64 games. 48
Is that good?
And 16. Yeah.
Let's get how many games?
That's disgusting.
How many games? 60?
64.
The Pirates have 51 wins on the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bye, everyone.
We'll have the post-game show tonight. Hopefully we steal a game. Like, let's steal a game this series. They're clearly the better team.
Let's go for the sweep.
Hey, it's home. So, yeah, let's win them all. Why not?
Why not? All right, let's get out of here. We love you all. We really do. Somehow you guys tolerate us. So we appreciate that. So if you haven't already, subscribe, join us, leave some comments, leave some reviews on the podcast as well. We love seeing those, especially if they're directed to Tyler or Doug or whatnot. Because if it's Tyler, it's negative and we get to make fun of him. If it's Doug, everyone loves Doug. So we love seeing that as well. But anyways, we'll be back tonight. Bye-bye.
We'll be back tonight. Oh, check out Ryan's Fanduel pick of the day. And if you're like me, I'm probably going to fade Ryan because he's on a cold streak.
What is he? 3-6-1?
He's like 3-6-1. It's rough. It's rough go.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see what he's got lined up for tonight so I can do the opposite.
I'm going to be so rich. All right. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube, if you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucs.